Mr. Speaker, the Indo-Pacific strategy says, with respect to Beijing, that the government will, quote, push back against any form of foreign interference on Canadian soil, end quote. It's time to put those words into action. Today, we learn about another 2 illegal police stations being operated by Beijing on Canadian soil, on top of the 3 we learned about last October. So when will the government put the words of the Indo-Pacific strategy into action, push back and expel diplomats responsible for this outrageous violation of our sovereignty?
The Honourable Minister for Public Safety.
I would have thought that my honourable colleague would have been assured by the concrete action that the RCMP is taking to root out allegations of foreign interference in this country as a means of protecting our national security. I would have thought that my honourable colleague would have been assured by the things that we are doing around allegations of foreign interference, creating independent panels to assure the integrity of our elections, cracking down on foreign fundings, and will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect our interests here and abroad. Thank you.
Member for St. Albert, Edmonton.
Speaker, was the Prime Minister briefed about Beijing's election interference involving 11 candidates? The Prime Minister has been repeatedly asked this question, and he hasn't answered it. He hides behind carefully crafted words such as saying he wasn't briefed about candidates receiving money from China. But that isn't the question. When will the Prime Minister stop his stonewalling, stop his word parsing, and tell us what he knows about Beijing's election interference?
Yeah. The Honourable Minister for Interparliamentary Relations.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has been very transparent, as have all ministers in our government.
Absolutely.
Mr. Speaker, before the Conservatives were even interested in the real threat that foreign interference presents, our government took action. We took action in 2019. We renewed that action in 2021. We had a group of experts chaired by the Clerk of the Privy Council to examine these issues and assure Canadians that the election integrity was preserved. Mr. Speaker, we take this threat seriously and we're on the job.
Absolutely.
L'honorable député de Mégantic.
The Honourable Member for Mégantic-l'Érable. Mr. Speaker, the same month that the Prime Minister was receiving a briefing on foreign interference in our elections, he decided not to do anything, and in that same month, MI5 publicly revealed the name of an agent of Beijing who had tried to influence UK politicians. Despite a directive from our National Intelligence Agency to make public this information, the Prime Minister prefers to hide behind a veil of secrecy, and he refuses to reply to our questions. So despite these briefings and serious allegations, no one has been arrested or publicly identified. Why? The Honourable Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs. Mr. Speaker, as I've said on many occasions, and as the Minister of Public Safety and the Prime Minister have also said, we take the threat of foreign interference very seriously. We are working hard to protect our democratic institutions, which are so important in Canada. And good news, Mr. Speaker, that's exactly what our government has done. Despite all of the efforts of conspiracy theorists across the way, Mr. Speaker, I can assure you that Canadian elections were free and fair, and the results are completely trustworthy.
L'honorable député de Rosemont.